The anomaly appeared on the Voidborn collective sensors like a whisper in the dark. Commander Nikolai Petrov stood before the crystalline display screen aboard the Stellar Sentinel, his weathered face illuminated by the pulsing lights of the command center. The reading made no sense, a vessel too small to be a threat, yet somehow piercing through their most sophisticated detection grids as if they didn't exist. "High Commander, the signature is unlike anything in our database," Lieutenant Jean Park reported, her fingers dancing across the bioneural interface. "It's approaching from the human territories, but that's impossible. Their technology shouldn't be capable of reaching this far into deep space." Petrov's silver eyes narrowed as he studied the trajectory. In his 3 centuries of service to the collective, he had never encountered anything quite like this. The vessel moved with an impossible grace, defying the known laws of physics that even the Voidborn's advanced civilization still adhered to. "Deploy the Phantom Scouts," he ordered, his voice carrying the weight of command. "I want visual confirmation before we alert the Council." The response was immediate. 4 sleek vessels, each designed to be invisible to all known detection systems, broke away from the Stellar Sentinel's hangar. They moved like liquid shadow through the void, approaching the mysterious craft with calculated precision. "First visual contact in 30 seconds, announced Operations Director Kira Volkov, her cybernetic implants glowing faintly as she processed the incoming data streams. The command center fell silent. Every officer focused on the main display as the first images began to materialize. The human vessel was beautiful in its simplicity. Unlike the organic-synthetic hybrid designs of the Voidborn fleet, this ship appeared to be built from pure energy, its hull rippling with patterns that seemed to bend the very fabric of space around it. It was smaller than a standard courier vessel, yet it radiated power that their sensors couldn't even begin to quantify. "Impossible," Petrov whispered. Their civilization was still burning fossil fuels less than a century ago. This level of advancement. "Sir," Jean interrupted, her voice tight with urgency. "The vessel is emitting some kind of quantum signature. It's like nothing we've ever seen. The energy patterns suggest it's not just moving through space, it's manipulating it." Petrov's mind raced. The Voidborn had spent millennia perfecting their technology, evolving beyond their original physical forms to become beings of pure energy and consciousness. They had assumed their position as the galaxy's most advanced civilization was unassailable. Yet here was evidence that humanity, a species they had dismissed as primitive, had somehow achieved something that had eluded even their greatest scientists. "Attempt communication," he ordered, pushing aside his disbelief to focus on the immediate situation. "All frequencies, all known protocols." The command center burst into activity as communication specialists attempted to establish contact. Minutes stretched into hours as every attempt was met with silence. The human vessel continued its steady advance toward the heart of Voidborn space, its purpose unknown, but its presence becoming increasingly troubling. "High Commander," Kira called out, her cybernetic eyes widening. "We're detecting an energy surge. The vessel is changing." The image on the main display shifted, showing the human ship beginning to transform. Its energy field expanded, creating patterns in space that defied comprehension. The Phantom Scouts automatically retreated to a safe distance as their sensors began overloading from the intense readings. "By the void," Jean breathed. "The ship isn't just manipulating space, it's creating its own pocket of reality. The humans have somehow mastered quantum engineering at a level we thought theoretically impossible." Petrov fought to maintain his composure as he watched the impossible unfold before him. The implications were staggering. If humanity had indeed achieved this level of technological advancement in secret, everything the Voidborn thought they knew about the galaxy's power structure was wrong. "Alert the Council," he finally ordered, "and prepare the fleet. Whatever this vessel represents, we need to be ready. Humanity has just announced its presence on the galactic stage in a way none of us could have predicted." As the orders were relayed and the massive Voidborn fleet began to mobilize, Petrov couldn't shake the feeling that they were witnessing the beginning of a new era. The humans, whom they had watched from afar with mild curiosity, had suddenly become the most interesting and potentially dangerous species in known space. The silent visitor continued its advance, carrying with it secrets that would forever change the balance of power in the galaxy. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, humanity waited, ready to reveal just how far they had come. The Void-born fleet hung in space like a constellation of artificial stars, their energy-based vessels forming a defensive perimeter around the mysterious human ship. Commander Petrov stood at his command station, watching as the final attempts at communication failed once again. The vessel had maintained its silence for nearly 30 standard hours, continuing its inexorable advance toward the heart of void-born space. "Hi, Commander." Lieutenant Jin's voice cut through the tension. "The ship, it's opening." The main display zoomed in on the human vessel as its energy field shifted, creating what appeared to be a doorway in the fabric of space itself. A figure emerged, floating in the void without any visible protection. The being appeared human in form, but readings suggested something far more complex. "This is Dr. Marcus Zhang of Earth." A voice suddenly resonated through their communication systems, bypassing all encryption as if it didn't exist. "I apologize for the silence, but I needed to complete the final calculations for the quantum translation matrix." Petrov exchanged glances with his officers before responding. "Dr. Zhang, this is High Commander Petrov of the Void-born Collective. Your presence here is unexpected. Your level of technology should not be possible." A soft chuckle echoed through the channel. "The possible and impossible are merely functions of understanding, Commander. Humanity has been watching, learning, and evolving. We chose to develop in silence, knowing that premature revelation would only lead to conflict." The figure of Dr. Zhang moved closer to the stellar sentinel, and their sensors finally managed to get a clear reading. The human scientist appeared to be surrounded by a field of pure quantum energy, his body existing in multiple states simultaneously. "What you're seeing is the culmination of Project Prometheus," Zhang explained. "We discovered that consciousness itself could be used to manipulate quantum states. While your civilization evolved toward energy-based existence, we chose to merge with quantum reality itself." Operations Director Volkov's cybernetic implants flashed rapidly as she processed the implications. "The ship, it's not just a vessel, is it?" "Correct," Zhang confirmed. "It's an extension of human consciousness, a physical manifestation of our understanding of quantum mechanics. We don't just travel through space, we become one with it. Each ship is linked directly to its pilot's quantum-enhanced consciousness." Petrov felt a chill run through his energy form. The humans hadn't just advanced, they'd taken an entirely different path of evolution. While the Void-born had sought to transcend physical form, humanity had found a way to exist in all forms simultaneously. "Why reveal yourselves now?" Petrov asked, though he suspected he already knew the answer. Zhang's quantum field rippled with what might have been amusement. "Because you're not alone anymore, Commander. There are threats approaching from beyond the galaxy's edge, entities that exist outside our understanding of physics. Humanity's quantum consciousness has detected them, and we'll need to stand together if we hope to survive." The command center erupted in urgent whispers as Zhang's words sank in. Petrov studied the human scientist, seeing not an inferior being, but a representative of a civilization that had quietly transformed itself into something revolutionary. "The Void-born Council will need to be convinced," Petrov said carefully. "This is an enormous shift in our understanding of galactic civilization." "Of course," Zhang nodded, his form flickering through multiple quantum states. "That's why I brought proof." He gestured, and suddenly the space around them came alive with quantum signatures. Hundreds of human vessels materialized from seemingly nowhere, each one a testament to humanity's incredible advancement. "We call it the Quantum Fleet," Zhang explained. "And it's just the beginning. Humanity is ready to share our discoveries, to work with the Void-born as equals. The question is, Are you ready to accept that the galaxy's balance of power has changed? Petrov looked at the assembled human fleet, their ships pulsing with quantum energy that defied conventional physics. In that moment, he understood that the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity hadn't just caught up to the Voidborn. They had charted an entirely new course for civilization itself. "Welcome to the future, Dr. Zhang," Petrov finally responded. "I believe we have much to discuss." As the human and Voidborn fleets began their historic first formal interaction, Petrov couldn't help but marvel at the ingenuity of the species they had once considered primitive. Humanity had proven that the path to advancement wasn't always linear, and that true evolution could come from the most unexpected directions. The silent visitor had spoken at last, and its message would echo through the cosmos for generations to come. The great chamber of the Voidborn Council pulsed with anxious energy as Dr. Zhang's quantum hologram stood before the assembled leaders. High Commander Petrov watched from his position among the senior military officials, noting how the human scientist's quantum state seemed to resonate with the very architecture of their crystalline citadel. "We call them the entropy tide," Zhang's voice echoed through the chamber, as three-dimensional representations of incomprehensible shapes materialized in the air. "They exist in a state that defies our traditional understanding of physics. Our quantum consciousness detected them 3 Earth years ago, moving between the galaxies like a plague of cosmic decay. Grand Counselor Vex, their form a swirling mass of pure energy, leaned forward. "And you're certain they pose a threat to our galaxy?" "They've already consumed 3 satellite galaxies," Zhang responded, manipulating the hologram to show the destruction. "They don't just destroy, they unravel the very fabric of reality. Conventional weapons, even your energy-based technology, will be useless against them." Director Volkov, who had been granted special permission to attend the council meeting, stepped forward. Her cybernetic implants were processing the data streams from Zhang's presentation at unprecedented rates. "The quantum signatures match anomalies we've detected at the galaxy's edge. We simply didn't know what we were looking at." The council chamber filled with murmurs as the implications sank in. The Voidborn had long considered themselves the pinnacle of evolution, but now faced an enemy they couldn't even properly perceive. Only humanity's quantum consciousness could fully detect and understand the threat. "This is why we revealed ourselves," Zhang continued. "Humanity's quantum integration gives us unique insights into these entities, while your civilization's mastery of energy manipulation provides capabilities we haven't yet achieved. Together, we might stand a chance." Petrov watched as the council members communicated in rapid bursts of energy, their consciousness linking in ways that transcended physical speech. He had served the collective long enough to read their reactions. They were afraid, and with good reason. "Tell us about your proposed defense strategy," High Counselor Mira commanded, their energy form pulsing with authority. Zhang's quantum form shifted, producing another series of complex projections. "We've developed what we call the quantum mesh, a network of consciousness-linked vessels that can create barriers in reality itself. But to power something of that scale, we'd need to combine it with your civilization's energy manipulation capabilities." The human scientist's form expanded, encompassing the entire chamber in a demonstration of quantum mechanics that made even the Voidborn's advanced technology seem primitive. "Imagine a shield that doesn't just block the enemy, but prevents them from existing in our reality altogether. And your people are prepared to share this technology?" Vex asked, their tone carrying both hope and suspicion. "After keeping yourselves hidden for so long?" "We don't have a choice," Zhang replied simply. "The entropy tide doesn't discriminate. Either we stand together, or we fall separately. Humanity may have chosen a different path of evolution than the Voidborn, but we face the same extinction." Petrov stepped forward, his energy form brightening. "Council members, I've witnessed the human quantum vessels firsthand. Their technology isn't just advanced, it's revolutionary. If Dr. Zhang says this threat is real, I believe him." The council chamber fell silent as the members considered the situation. Centuries of assuming superiority over other species were being challenged, but the evidence before them was undeniable. The holographic displays showed the approaching entropy tide, a wave of unreality that threatened everything they had built. Finally, High Counselor Mira spoke. Dr. Zhang, the Voidborn Collective accepts your proposal for alliance. We will share our energy manipulation technology, and in return, you will help us implement this quantum mesh defense system. Zhang's quantum form stabilized, taking on a more human appearance. Thank you, Council. I suggest we begin immediately. My fleet's quantum sensors indicate the entropy tide will reach our galaxy's outer rim within 6 standard months. As the Council session concluded and preparations began, Petrov approached Zhang's quantum projection. Doctor, there's something you haven't told the Council, isn't there? The human scientist's form flickered briefly. Perceptive, Commander. Yes, the entropy tide isn't a natural phenomenon. Someone, or something, created it. And once we've dealt with the immediate threat, we'll need to find out why. Petrov absorbed this information, watching as the combined human and voidborn forces began their historic collaboration. The galaxy was changing, evolving into something new. And at the heart of it all was humanity's incredible leap into quantum consciousness, a transformation that might just save them all from the approaching storm. The orbital shipyards of the Voidborn Collective blazed with unprecedented activity. Quantum-enhanced human vessels floated alongside the energy-based ships of the Voidborn, their technologies beginning to merge in ways that defied conventional understanding. At the heart of this controlled chaos, Commander Petrov and Dr. Zhang supervised the integration of the first joint defense platform. The quantum resonance patterns are holding steady, Zhang reported, his consciousness simultaneously present in both his physical form and the quantum realm. Your energy matrices are adapting to our quantum framework better than expected. Petrov's energy form pulsed with satisfaction as he observed the massive structure taking shape before them. The defense platform was unlike anything either civilization had created before, a perfect fusion of voidborn energy manipulation and human quantum engineering. Lieutenant Jean, status report on the neural interface integration, Petrov called out to his officer, who was working with a team of human quantum engineers. The synthesis is at 87%, Commander, Jean responded, her hands moving through the holographic controls. The human quantum consciousness protocols are successfully merging with our energy-based communication systems. We're achieving synchronization rates that should have been impossible. Dr. Zhang's quantum field rippled with what Petrov had learned to recognize as enthusiasm. That's the beauty of our approach, Lieutenant. Quantum consciousness doesn't just bypass technological barriers, it renders them meaningless. Your energy-based systems are learning to exist in multiple states simultaneously, just as our quantum ships do. A sudden alert drew their attention. Director Volkov's image materialized in the command center, her cybernetic implants glowing urgently. Commander, Doctor, we're detecting unusual readings from the galaxy's outer rim. The entropy tide, it's accelerating. Zhang's form instantly shifted to full quantum state, his consciousness extending through the sensor networks. Confirmed. The wave of unreality is moving faster than our initial calculations predicted. We've lost contact with our quantum probes in the Carina sector. How much time does that leave us? Petrov demanded, already calculating military responses. For months, maximum, Zhang replied grimly. The tide isn't just destroying reality. It's learning, adapting to the structures it encounters. We need to accelerate our preparations. The command center erupted into coordinated activity. Human quantum engineers and voidborn energy specialists worked side by side, their different approaches to technology creating solutions neither species could have developed alone. Implement Protocol Omega, Petrov ordered, his energy form brightening with determination. All ships, all resources, everything goes into the quantum mesh project now. We can't afford to wait. Zhang nodded in agreement, his quantum field expanding to interface directly with the shipyard systems. I'm redirecting the entire human quantum fleet to assist. We'll need every consciousness-linked vessel we have to power the initial mesh deployment. As the combined forces mobilized, a new ship class emerged from the shipyards, the first true hybrid of human and void-born technology. Its hull rippled with quantum energy patterns while its core pulsed with pure void-born power, creating something entirely new in the galaxy. The Quantum Void Interceptor, Jean announced, pride evident in her voice. Capable of existing in multiple quantum states while channeling energy at levels we never thought possible. This is just the beginning of what our species can achieve together. Petrov moved closer to the viewport, studying the magnificent vessel. How many can we construct in the time we have left? With both our production capabilities combined and running at maximum capacity, we can have a fleet of 300 ready in 3 months, Zhang calculated. It will have to be enough. A sudden burst of energy announced the arrival of High Counselor Mira in the command center. Commander Petrov, Dr. Zhang, the Council has received disturbing reports. Our long-range sensors have detected quantum anomalies at the heart of the entropy tide. They appear to be artificial constructs. Zhang's quantum form flickered with concern. As we suspected, someone is controlling the tide, using it as a weapon. But why? What could be worth unraveling the very fabric of reality? Perhaps that's precisely the point, Petrov suggested, his centuries of military experience lending weight to his words. What better way to reshape reality than to unmake it first? Whoever is behind this may not want to destroy the galaxy. They may want to recreate it in their own image. The implications hung heavy in the air as human and void-born alike contemplated the true nature of their enemy. The defense platforms and hybrid ships suddenly seemed like the first steps in a much longer journey. This wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about preserving the very nature of existence itself. Then we don't just need to stop the entropy tide, Zhang declared, his quantum form solidifying with resolve. We need to find its source and end this threat permanently. The question is, are we ready to venture beyond the boundaries of known space? Petrov's energy form pulsed with determined agreement. We don't have a choice. The galaxy's evolution depends on it. The fleet of quantum void interceptors hung at the edge of known space, their hybrid forms shimmering between quantum states while channeling pure energy. On the bridge of the flagship paradigm, Commander Petrov and Dr. Zhang monitored the approaching wall of unreality that threatened to unmake everything in its path. The entropy tide is unlike anything we theorized, Zhang observed, his quantum consciousness extending through the ship's enhanced sensors. It's not just destroying reality, it's harvesting it, converting normal space-time into something else entirely. The view through the ship's quantum-enhanced observation systems showed the impossible. The tide appeared as a writhing wall of anti-existence, consuming light, matter, and even the laws of physics themselves. Behind it lay not emptiness, but a twisted version of space where different rules seemed to apply. We're detecting energy signatures within the tide, Lieutenant Jean reported from her station, where both human and void-born interfaces had been merged into a single control system. They're organized, structured. This is definitely not a natural phenomenon. Director Volkov's cybernetic systems were processing the readings at unprecedented rates. The patterns suggest consciousness, but not like anything we've encountered. It's as if someone took the basic foundation of thought itself and rebuilt it using different principles. A sudden alert blared through the command center. Multiple quantum ruptures detected, Jean announced, her hands flying over the controls. Something's coming through the tide. The fleet's sensors focused on a series of distortions forming in the wall of unreality. What emerged defied description. Vessels that seemed to be made from crystallized thought, piloted by beings that existed as pure mathematical equations given form. By the void, Petrov breathed, his energy form fluctuating with shock. What are we looking at? Zhang's quantum field pulsed with recognition. They're us, he said quietly. Or rather, what we might have become. Those ships. They're carrying evolved versions of human and void-born consciousness, merged and transformed by exposure to whatever lies beyond the tide. The command center fell silent as the implications sank in. The enemy they faced wasn't some alien force, It was a possible future version of themselves, one that had chosen to remake reality rather than adapt to it. A transmission cut through their communications, carrying thoughts that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously. "We are the convergence," the message resonated in their minds. "We have transcended the limitations of your reality. Join us in unmaking this flawed existence, so that together we may build something greater." They're not just destroying reality, Volkov realized, her cybernetics struggling to process the complex quantum signals. They're recruiting, converting civilizations to their cause. Zhang's quantum form stabilized as he addressed the fleet. This is why they sent the tide first. It's not just a weapon, it's a tool for transformation. They're trying to force our evolution in their direction. Petrov's energy form pulsed with determination. Then they clearly don't understand either of our species very well. We chose our paths of advancement for a reason. The convergence ships moved closer, their impossible forms distorting the space around them. Your resistance is based on attachment to an inferior state of existence, their message continued. We were once like you, bound by the laws of a single reality. Now we are free to exist in all possible states simultaneously. Initialize the quantum mesh, Petrov ordered, his voice carrying through both normal and quantum communications. All ships, prepare to channel maximum energy output. The fleet of quantum void interceptors moved into formation, their hybrid technology allowing them to exist in perfect synchronization across multiple states of reality. Human quantum consciousness merged with void-born energy manipulation, creating something the convergence hadn't anticipated, a defense born of cooperation rather than forced evolution. You seek to preserve that which must be unmade, the convergence transmitted. You cannot stop the inevitable progression of consciousness. Watch us, Zhang responded, his quantum form expanding to interface with the entire fleet. Sometimes the best path forward isn't the most obvious one. As the convergence ships launched their attack, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. The fate of not just their galaxy, but the very nature of existence hung in the balance. And at the forefront of this impossible battle stood the combined forces of humanity and the Voidborn, united in their determination to prove that diversity of evolution was strength, not weakness. The first shots fired weren't energy beams or quantum pulses, but waves of pure possibility, as two fundamentally different visions of the future finally clashed at the edge of known space.